That's going to be an interesting thumbnail. Live chat. I'm actually finishing up the last of David's knives. Which is going to be this Zeba. Definitely want to sharpen it before I... Who's here? Bradley. No, Jack, you're second. Getting ready to sharpen this heavily engraved. Why does everybody want to be first? When does this become a thing again? Chris, you got your knives, right? Yeah, I'm drinking a beer. Not you, Chris. Okay, that Chris. Dude, I could not keep them here any longer. I had to get it out. You would have never got that Sparrow back. I was tempted to tell Will, like, hey, I lost it. Can you make him a new one? All right, Robert, you have a good day at work. I am just finishing up some of this stuff. I'm gonna pack up a bunch of stuff today, this afternoon. I am gonna have time to shoot that video. I didn't think it would, I figured it would take me so much longer to, because here's the thing, I like Will and we get along pretty well. I'm pretty sure I could, yeah, because I'm older than her. I'm pretty sure I could talk Will into like, hey, Will, man, I don't know what happened to his knife, man. Can you send me a replacement? I could probably talk him into it. Will is that nice of a guy. He'd probably be like, yeah, sure, man. You're trying to run your bit, but I wouldn't do that. So this is Nitro V. And I want to see if I run into the same issue with Nitro V on these stones as I did when I did it on aluminum oxide. The finish came out on the last one I did in Nitro V. This stuff is amazing. This is that 80 grit. You hear that? That's that 80 grit diamond matrix stone. And it's just kind of skating on it. It's not that it's super hard. It's cutting. It just doesn't feel, the nitrogen steels feel slicker on the stones. They just feel like they're cutting. They just don't feel like it. And then the next thing you know, yeah, look, you're cutting really well. And it doesn't seem like it at first. And it's one of those ones you got to be real careful with because it doesn't feel like it's cutting. And you'll look and you're like, oh crap, look at that burr I've formed. And so Nitro V is, the nitrogen steels in general are unique animals. So, if I hadn't been filming the video for the Grimsmo brothers yesterday, so we're only gonna probably stick around for however long this. No, they don't, and I wish they did. So you guys know he's talking about a very regional thing that's pretty. That's a pretty southern Ohio thing. Hair potato chips. Her potato chips, hair, I can't remember how you pronounce it, but they're good. Is it the same thing as they don't sell Cons out here either? I love Cons potato chips. I think Cons got bought out by Lay's though. They still market them locally, but they're like a subsidiary of I love Dirty's potato chips. I think that Cons is owned by Lay's. At any rate, Cons owns them or something like that. Lay's owns Cons as a subsidiary brand, but they're still, they basically run their own show. Cons potato chips, man, that's a very Ohio thing. So yeah, you got to be careful, or you're on Nitro V, you can actually go way further than you intended to by accident, but I'm evening out this bevel. It's I like the Zeba knives, and I enjoyed talking to Mike, but every one of them, the tip when they come, it's really, it's off. It's like they grind it and then tip it in, and it's like that pretty much on both sides. It's cut real deep in, and I do know that can be an issue and it can be hard to rectify, but every one of them. So, but they make up for it in other ways. Like, here's the thing: if after the first time you sharpen it and even out that bevel at the tip, you're golden. So, yeah, I was just a little bit bored. I didn't feel like watching another episode of that 70s show right at the moment. I was like, I don't want to start one. You know that you get bored and you haven't. You just are like, I don't want to watch the next episode. Kind of bored of it. I didn't want to watch YouTube videos, so I thought I'd hang out with y'all. This is a Zeba. I got news for you. It's nowhere near as bad as a Spyderco. I'm gonna switch to this. Just because it's gonna eat that stone up trying to reprofile that tip. I don't have that issue with this. This stone doesn't break down. Well, it does, but nowhere near like those matrix stones. That's cutting. That's gonna cut quick. Sometimes the stone doesn't cut as well. My sister plays a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2. I haven't had a lot of time for it, but I'll get a few minutes of playtime and then get sleepy. And every once in a while, this is how you know you've smoked too much weed, is if you can't play Red Dead Redemption 2. You're like, wow, I'm too high to play this game. It's not the fastest paced game in the world. Like, I never thought I would hear myself say, I can't play this right now. Now, I definitely have been too high or too drunk to play other games. I can't play Battlefield or fucking Ghosts Online or any of that shit. Like most first-person shooters, can't play those if you've been smoking. Well, see, that's what I like about it, because that makes it, as much as that may seem monotonous, it makes it seem more immersive. It actually, you become part of the story. There's tasks that you have to accomplish. And so I actually liked the slower pace. And if you watch Rockstar's talking about how you're supposed to play the game, you get so much more out of it with interactions with the people in camp and things like that. And I enjoyed it. It's probably my favorite game that's come out in years. I liked the infamous series of games on PS3 as well, and it reminds me a lot of that, because you got the honor meter and up and down, and oh, I'm gonna have to text David about this one. So this one's gonna be extra. This is gonna require a lot of reprofiling. So I've sharpened, what time did we end the last feed? 9-ish, and it's 11-ish now. What time is it? It's 11:30. I've sharpened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a half knives in just about 2 hours. This is a little better than 3 knives an hour. It's not bad. And so now I'm at the pretty much at the end of today. There's some stuff I've got, but I'm not going to the shop today. Not this late in the day anyway. So I have a little bit of admin stuff I'm going to take care of. And I do need to go. I have to buy some wood for a little project I'm going to do here at the house. I have to go and get some more packing tape. I got to stop by the post office and pick up some boxes. And I need to, there was a third thing that I needed to do. So basically the rest of the afternoon, I'm gonna probably be out of the house. I was hoping that Ashton might come over, but he's not, and I got to looking at the list of things I do. Oh, I gotta do payroll for myself. I gotta run payroll. So, not that I have to, it's already in an account. Loaf of bread, container of milk, and a stick of butter. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how my sister and I's memory works. That came from a piece of Sesame Street when we were kids, like little kids. It is like one of the oldest bits of stuff that they put on Sesame Street. And we both still remember that from being a kid. A loaf of bread, a container of milk, and a stick of butter. And the little kid's on his way to the store and he keeps repeating it to himself. You will see things that show up if my sister's on these feeds that are complete inside jokes between the two of us. Like anything we say about Heather Lockhart. And Nicole Lockhart. Both of them. Either one of them. Heather was the older, and Nicole was the one that my sister couldn't stand. They were in the same grade. I shot her with a BB gun. That's how much I hated this kid. I shot this kid with a BB gun. Fucking flies are everywhere out here. I took care of my mosquito problem. Now I got fucking flies everywhere. I think the cat did something. I don't know. I shot her right in the middle of the chest, and I pumped that motherfucker up pretty tight. I don't think anybody really deserved it. I mean, if anyone did, it would be her, but no one did. It was a hell of a shot, too. It was through the bushes. Yeah, but see, you're never as good a shot as I was. I knew I could hit her where I was aiming for. Since I've had LASIK, I discovered, I thought maybe it was a fluke. I have always been an incredibly good shot. I went to Matt's house and we were sighting in a pellet gun. I can't use open sights on a rifle now. With my LASIK, everything is off. I basically am gonna have to reteach myself to shoot with iron sights, with open sights. Scope, I'm still great. I'm good. But I was very disappointed when I came to that realization. Now I can still fucking windage it in. No, it's because I had LASIK. And it just changed the way, things look. Because I learned to shoot open sights and I was wearing glasses or contacts, and it's weird. I mean, it won't take long. I could just reteach myself real quick. Lockhart. They were a family that lived there. There was a younger one named Nicole and an older one named Heather. Lockhart. They lived in our small town in Ohio. And their whole family was just like the worst people ever. Like they bought this beautiful old house that used to belong to a guy named Burton Kane, and it was a gorgeous old, it was Archie's old house. Yeah. But they bought that gorgeous old house, and then they fucking trashed it. Was it Burton's house? Yeah, O'Doyle rules. That's... Let's see, let's bring that up. There we go. I'm not doing that so I can see myself. I'm doing it because it lets me see the glare. Fixing a glare issue. I can't remember Archie's old name. Guy ran the mill. What was Archie's old name? Archie. Was it Archie's house? But what was Archie's name? I can't remember it. Archie's house was gorgeous. Had like spires and fucking windows, this big circuit. It was a gorgeous old house. I fucking wrecked it. And then the next group that moved into it was garbage too. Hamilton. His name was Hamilton. I was flipping through and finding images, and I remember finding his grave. If I made a mental picture, I found a mental picture of his grave with the engraving on it and the flowers. It was Hamilton, Archie Hamilton. That's the other reason. I remember walking through the graveyard and finding Archie's spot. Yeah, there was no after he passed away, there were just no good people that lived in that house. I don't know who's there now or if the house is even still there. It was a gorgeous old house. But yeah, I'm trying to do this Nitro V. And this has a bad misgrind up near the tip on one side. I'm just trying to take care of it because I would love to be able to send off all of David's knives except for this one this week, and then because this is going to take a bit. It's going to take a good bit of work. So that side is done. Really, really asymmetrical grind on this. Trying to get this fixed here. What's everyone doing this afternoon besides hanging out with me? I figure most people are at work. Now the fucking light has changed again, and I gotta crank this down just a little bit. There we go. Sitting on your ass. Where do you work, Jack? Where do you work, at a guitar store? I could just picture you work at Guitar World. That's exactly what I'm picturing. You work at a music store. Oh, in a warehouse. Yard work, roof inspection, maybe go to the shop to get a stinger diagnosed. That's not good. It's not what you want to hear. So you got to take your shit to fucking Chris and Elliott and figure out what the fuck's wrong with it. Rare movement. Yeah. Pack shit for Amazon. I used to pack shit for this one chick. Well, her shit. But we all know how that ended because that was an interesting story. Don't even ask. That's an Instagram live feed story. We can't do that here. I do not want that associated with this channel and fighting with the demonetization that would come from it. Jack doesn't seem to be having problems with it. It's a Stinger XL, Matt. And we all know, regardless of what that guy on Facebook keeps saying, there were no SM100 Stinger XLs. Well, there was one, but it was a custom. And I know the guy that has it, and it was a lefty, and it was a single scale, not a maker's choice. A fucking plain scale, I mean. I can't wait either, because guess what? The sooner it gets produced, the sooner I get fucking paid. Out of this entire box of stuff that Chris sent me, I didn't figure this would be as hard. Or David, I mean. I didn't figure this was gonna cause me the problems it has been. It's the one side of the tip is just not wanting to, whew, it's bad. low spot. They want almost recurving a spot on this. But you can't work just one side of it, so I have to take material off both sides of the knife, or you wind up with an uneven edge. There we go. I have an idea what might be wrong with it, but I'll reserve my judgments till I find out. Hang on a second, guys. I gotta check this. Got a message. I had to check a message. There we go. And we are ready to go up to 250. I can go straight to 250 off of this stone. It's similar enough that diamond plate, the big diamond plate, is similar enough in grit to the 80 grit diamond matrix stone that I can transition right from that diamond plate to this. I don't like wearing out that diamond plate. They're expensive. I mean, I bought a new 2300 and it was like 60 bucks, I think. But the flip side of that is they do last forever, but I don't want to have to buy the 80 grit because the 80 grit's more expensive. The diamond matrix stones are completely inverse, or completely reverse of what the normal stones are. Normally, your finer stones are much more expensive. The higher you go up in grit, the more they cost. With these diamond matrix stones, the higher you go up in grit, the less they cost. It's because the diamond that's in it, there's less of it, or they're smaller, and so you're not paying for as much diamond. As like this 250 is like 75 bucks. I think I would have to go back and refresh myself on prices. But the further you go up in grit with these, the less. Yeah, that's basically what happens when I go home. And that, and we pick on my brother-in-law viciously. Actually, we were not allowed to go to family functions together a lot of times because we would make our cousins cry. We would gang up on people and just fucking make them cry. Because we're horrible fucking people. Yeah, her husband, my brother-in-law. That poor sorry bastard. Because, I mean, my sister and I act just like my father. And so when I would come visit, poor Dan. Poor Dan was stuck with basically 3 of my father. And so there were times my dad he'd just sit back and he's like, well, I got this ball of rolling. He'd start something and me and my sister just get to picking, and then we'd find a nerve and we'd pick harder. Hey, look, a nerve. Oh, that one upset him. We're good. I know what to do now. So we'd start out my brother-in-law on Sarah's husband, and then just he'd just watch. So he'd get it started, and next thing you know, he's just watching like, I'm good with this. This is fun. It was like cable TV for him. I took him back to the bedroom. She's like, he'd go back to the bedroom, and Mom would be like, "What? You going to bed?" Said, yeah, I got the 2 kids wound up, got them started, and then I got tired, So I just came back, laid down. I was laughing too hard. I guarantee. He's like, yeah, I got Michael and Sarah fucking turned on Dan there for a little bit. Just left it on autopilot. So guys, I'm just only gonna, I just want to see how long. Yeah. I'm not allowed to talk to Yuka's friends. So Yuka made this friend at work. Or not at work. I forget where it was. She's this lady was. So my wife, she's like, okay, we're gonna go eat, and it's always inevitable. It's always inevitable when your wife makes a new friend. The husband is required to go on a fucking play date. And so we went to dinner with them. And she is one of these militant feminists. But she doesn't work. She's a stay-at-home mom and all this shit. And so we sat down to dinner, and I was like, yeah, the waiter asked, would you like something to drink? And I was like, yeah, I'll take a beer, whatever you got on draft. And he goes, yeah, I think I'll have a beer too. And she's like, I don't think you will. And I was like, so here's the deal. If he wants to have a beer, why don't you just let him have a fucking beer? I was like, all this shit. And then we get to going, and she goes on her fucking feminazi fucking thing. And I have no problem, with any of the feminist ideals and things like that. I 100% agree with most of them. And we got on this big thing, and she was talking about equal this and equal that. And I was like, I don't hear you. She's talking about the workforce and the disparities between men and women employees. And she was talking about all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, but see, what I'm not hearing is you talking about the majority of garbage men and sewer workers and construction workers and all these garbage jobs that are outside where it's hot and dirty and nasty, smells real bad. Majority of them are men. I don't hear you fighting to get those jobs. All I hear you fighting for is to try and get these cushy office air conditioned. And I see the husband like, oh no. And she's like, okay, well, here's my question. If you are so adamant about your views, why are you the stay-home parent? Why don't you let him quit his job and you bring home the bacon and shit like that and all this stuff? And oh God, she was so mad. And then they left. They left like right after we ate. And Yuka looked at me and says, why do you do this? Why do you do this? Why can't I have friends? I was like, I don't have a problem with you having friends. Just pick them better. She was a piece of shit. Needless to say, I'm not allowed to meet Yuka's new friends very often. Now, her husband has, since then, he stopped by and had fucking, just hang out and fucking, come bring a meatball sub and we'll fucking sit and drink beer and shit. He's like, God, I gotta tell you, he's like, he's like, I've never seen anyone shut my wife down. Like, never seen anyone shut her down. I was like, let him have a beer. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm ordering her a beer. I'm ordering him a beer. It's like, you don't get to make those choices for him. If he wants a fucking beer, he's just allergic to alcohol. She's like, and I was like, bring him a beer. But so he sat there and he's looking at me. He's like, this is great. And I'm like, look, here, you know what? Fucking what is he, like 8? He can't make his own fucking decision. You're going to choose what he orders? You're going to cut his fucking food up for him too? And my wife is just sitting there. She's like, no. He and I got along great. told a woman one time at Home Depot I couldn't hit her, but she was being a complete and utter bitch. And I told her, if you don't shut the fuck up, I'm gonna drag your little monkey boy here that's holding your purse outside, and I'm gonna fucking give him the worst ass whooping of his life. I will throw him a beating that is beyond compare. And she got ready to say something. He really puts his hand on his mouth. He's like, honey, I don't think he's kidding. I was like, you're right. That's goddamn right. She opens her mouth one more fucking time to me, I'm gonna fucking, I can't hit her, but I'll beat the dog shit out of you. Fucking get a leash on this fucking cunt and get her the fuck away from me, or you're gonna earn yourself a fucking ass whooping. So, and my buddy that was with me, as she kept, I hit her with the cart, and I apologized. And my buddy that was with me was like, he just kept looking at me like, as she followed me around the store, just fucking like a little chihuahua in my ear. I can't believe you do that. And I was like, look, I apologize. What the fuck do you want? What else do you want? You need to be more. And I was like, look, I will fucking beat the shit out of him. Get your little fucking nursemaid here that's carrying your purse around, and fucking I told him, I was like, you need to shut her the fuck up. So they left. My buddy that was with me was like, he's like, I saw it come. I saw it brewing. He's like, I just didn't know what it was gonna be. He's like, he's like, I was just waiting. He's like, it was like entertainment. I do believe that I told him that if he didn't shut her up, I was going to drag him outside and kick his head into a storm drain. Do you believe that was like, you don't shut this fucking cunt's mouth, I will drag you outside and will kick your head into a fucking storm drain. Needless to say, she didn't say a fucking thing after that. He drug her the fuck away from me. What was that? I had it on film too. Into Home Depot even. I hate when I have knives like this that I have to do, like everything goes so swimmingly, and then the next thing you know, you got a knife that's taking you 10 minutes longer than the last one did. My phone's trying to overheat. I can see it because the screen's flickering. These are nice knives though. These are attractive knives. I like the traditional, almost a traditional style Tonto, more like a Sponto, where it has the grind, the two different grinds, but then it's just the full round, like traditional Tonto tip. Or traditional Tonto, like a Japanese Tonto. And that's a touchy subject with the wife. Like I told her, I was like, why? Then, you know what? Have your friends. I don't ask her to come to the forge with me on Fridays. Why do I get subjected to the play date? The new friend, husband play date. Like, I want you guys to be friends. Now, it has worked out from time to time. My friend Jim, his wife and my wife are friends. And Dennis, who you've seen in a couple videos, our kids ice skate together, but my wife was friends with Dennis's wife, Mia, before I ever met Dennis. So you can kind of say those were a couple friend play dates that worked out. She doesn't like coming to the forge. I don't think he does. I don't think that gentleman knows more about the Dark Tower than you do, because I don't. And I've read that book. I've read that series of books so many times. Matter of fact, I started reading them again. What always amazes me about the Dark Tower series is how I didn't figure out that it was hell earlier in the book series when characters showed up in Midworld with Roland after they died in their regular lives. And I'm like, oh fuck, I should have figured it out. It's fucking hell. Let me see. Playdates. Grown-up playdates. They're just, There's nothing good about them. Charlie the Choo Choo After the Wasteland. That place, that was a... So if you guys haven't ever read Stephen King's Dark Tower series, there's a lot of weirdness in that series of books. Which I can honestly say, I highly recommend that series of books. They're amazing. If you can wrap your head around the fucking fact, the way Stephen King writes, it's very, very detailed. Guys, I think we're almost done. Almost. Almost. And then I'm gonna go do my admin stuff and go shopping. I imagine I should ask the wife if there's anything she needs. She should be home very soon. I say that, but it's always a mistake. Every time. Wow, that is so fucking sharp. Such a fine edge on these. On this Nitro V. Nitro V, Z Finite, all of these. It's... They are always... Oh yeah, it's gonna just bite right in. Was that who asked something? Gotta get steaks prepped for dinner soon. I don't know what we're having. We had curry last night. I'm not gonna lie, it was delicious, but I had heartburn. So bad afterwards. My wife made beef curry and rice, and I had a big, oh man, I was like, oh, it's so good, and then 20 minutes later I was like, oh, that hurts so bad. Before you ask this, no, I have not made a doctor's point to figure out why everything I eat gives me heartburn. I don't like the Spidey Chef. It's not one of my favorite designs. Well, basically, unless it's an Endura. Well, basically, that's Elliot and I've been talking about it. So LC200N is basically Z Finite. Yeah. That's what I was absolutely right, Ashton. That's what Elliot and I have talked about. I was talking about, I was like, I like that LC200N, and he's like, you mean Z Finite? Because they are basically the same thing. I like sharpening it because it takes it's such a fine grain structure that it takes a really super keen edge, and it's gorgeous. It doesn't hold a scratch pattern very well. It polishes up great. I like S90V. I just don't like the blade shape, Luke. I don't like the blade shape, and they're always really badly ground. And you have to, I mean, every one of them I've ever had come in, I basically have told people, I was like, you're going to want to choil on this. If you're going to try and if you're going to maintain that knife on your own and not just send it to me every fucking 6 weeks, then you're going to want to choil on that. There we go. Now I got the light I needed. There has been some stuff. So Matt and I were talking about it yesterday, and Matt, if you're still here, I don't think we ever got the stuff figured up and sent to me. He said that there's been a big deal here, just another big issue with Benchmade, and that their stuff is not heat treated correctly, or it's not heat treated as listed. And so Matt and I were gonna talk about that, and I was gonna talk about it in a live feed after I look into it and get the information that I can find. But Matt and I did not get back to that yesterday. I was gonna go to his house, but then I had stuff. Yeah, it was softer, and I was gonna look up. I know that there's some articles and some posts about it, but I wanted to look it up. And then I was supposed to go to Matt's last night. Yeah, exactly. I was gonna go to Matt's last night, but then I just didn't feel like it. I didn't feel good. I just wanted to rest. My wife was already in the process of making curry before I decided to go over. I don't know. I might go to his place tonight if he's not busy. We'll see what happens. So all the way to half micron. So I need to reload these strops. They've gotten a workout the last couple days. Fuck got down in there. So guys, if you ever get a knife from me, you see little black lines on it, which I'm seeing on this, which I need to reload this strop. All it is some of the stropping compound got down in. And so after, or take a tissue. That's exactly what he told me was Alchemy 1. And but anyway, if you get these little black lines that are showing, it's just stropping compound that has gotten down into the little micro serrations. If you take a little bit of WD-40 and just wipe it, it'll come off. And you can get any residue that I may have left on the blade off. I had a guy call me about it, and he was like, I think there's some microchipping on this. And I was like, send me a picture. And he sent me the picture, and I was like, no, that's just some of my stropping compound. Sometimes it gets down in the little crevices that are left, the little micro serrations that are left. And so I'll do that, and then I'll hit it back up on the chromium oxide a few times. And that usually, yep, it's all gone. The chromium oxide gets down and it just lifts it out. That diamond stuff will, on some of the softer steels especially, will get down inside the little micro serrations, and you see super, super, super fine little black lines. And all it is just some residue from the strop. Yep, all good. Now let's test. Z-Finite always does impressively well in cut. It should just touch, yeah. Look at that. It's just touching it, and it's cutting. Z-Finite takes a super, super fine edge, and there's not a lot of, RWL34 does that, Z-Finite does, Nitro V, SM100 definitely, Damasteel, Matt's one knife that I did in 3V, that I sharpened for him that's in 3V, those take a extremely, extremely fine edge. So now, the plan is tomorrow, I start on this part here, and I've got to get a hold of David today and ask him some questions, because I want to make sure how we're doing this, because I would like to make the spacers, I'd like to make the scale match the liner. So that's it, guys. Yeah, Luke's here. The new Kelly back knives are in Nitro V. How do you know that Luke is where? Guys, I gotta step inside for a minute. It's getting hot under that canopy. From RM. Do you guys know each other? This is gonna be interesting. What's RM? What's RM? Later. Suppose I should go through all this stuff. None of this stuff, real macaroni. None of this stuff has past due or none of this has a past due or final notice or collection agency information on it. So I think all this stuff can just go straight in the trash. That's what I'm good at, Luke. Connecting people. It's quite an eclectic group. I've never understood this. Envelope inside an envelope. I know what it is. I absolutely know what this is. This is the graduation card for one of my best friends in the world's kid. That's got to make you feel old. Yuka and I were dating when little David was a baby. So let's take a look at, God damn, they really squeezed this fucking thing in there. Bradford High School, 2019. Senior class, Mary D. Bradford High School announces its commencement ceremony Sunday afternoon, June 2nd, 2019 at 2 o'clock. David Thomas Hamill III. I'll put this somewhere. Guys, I'm going to end this. I've got a bunch of admin stuff to do. I'm pretty much, I don't go on Facebook unless it's to go and tell that guy again and again and again that his Stinger XL is not an SM100. It's about the only reason I go on there anymore. Love you guys. I'll talk to y'all later. I just thought it would be cool to do another live feed. I am getting ready to shoot the video, the rest of the video. I sat around and thought about how I wanted to do it for Jim Skelton's Master Blaster. Because, I mean, I've already done a Master Blaster video, so I don't think it's going to be that big of a thing. Guys, right here, you want to see something? I rubbed, can you see where it's all shiny? I sharpened so much yesterday that I rubbed a shiny spot on my finger and actually rubbed a hole in it on my stones. So I've done a lot of sharpening the last 2 days. I haven't done that in a long time. It was a weird, Grimm's Mose, the weird angle I hold the blade, I just rubbed my finger, rubbed a hole completely in my finger. I'll show you. I rubbed, not that finger, right here, all the way down, and it just took all the skin off of it. Rubbed a fucking, well, it's this finger. This was the offending finger. My back and shoulders hurt. Later, guys. Kim, I'll let you know as soon as that knife shows up. So as soon as your SM100 shows up for me to sharpen, that is whenever the boys get done doing the maintenance work on it. So don't ask me about it because I won't tell you guys if you've got stuff there. Take it easy, guys. I'll talk to you later.